So Keith is going to be our Ephraim.
Dun 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 dun.
People are always asking me to prove things. I'll tell you what, proof is really a state of mind. What do I want to believe? I believe that there is proof in the Bible that David was of Ephraim, and I don't think it could be any other way. I don't believe that anybody who's read the Bible can believe that David was of Judah.
Who are you?
Oh, you better be joking.
These are Bible study series that go pretty in depth. Warning, we're not language watching people. We're very salt of the earth, down to earth. It also does not follow the politically correct patterns of modern preachers and teachers. So if you're looking for that, also definitely not the place for you.
Shut up for once in your life. Shut your damn mouth.
Well, we're moving from Met Ephraim series to Meet David series because everything sort of, mishmashes together. And you back in the book that I wrote about all of the things that we've learned and sort of putting it together in a big cohesive piece. I want you to think of King David as like a pissant warlord, because that's what he was. Okay. So we chose Negan as the representation of King David. And there's lots of reasons for that. And if you don't know who Ezekiel is, go back to the book and read it and whatever, we don't care. So we chose that one. And so if you see that guy pop up, that's Osmeka from the book.
You've been talking to the wrong people.
I'm sorry. I never know exactly which eye I'm supposed to look at. It's a little bit distracting.
And then we have Keith Richards, who sort of symbolizes a dual part here. If you've gone through the book, you understand the ridiculous Keith Richards reference that we keep making throughout. And so he sort of symbolizes our janky ass Moabite who definitely needs redeeming. But interestingly, in the Meet David series coming up where we meet Ruth, you're going to see how the Moabite bloodline and the Ephraimite or Ephrathite bloodlines are mixing. And so there's Moabite blood in the lineage of David from Ephrath, who goes back to Ephraim, who goes all the way down to Jesus. So in looking at that bloodline, he also symbolizes Ephraim with that little bit of, wild side Moabite blood in him.
Here's one. You must know it by now. So if I do.
No, actually, we're going to read it because you need to hear that this is the tribe. So when I say things like Judah is wicked, this is a wicked lineage. I need you to actually hear what I'm saying. So I'm going to read this to you. What prophet is it? What prophet? Weird that Judah's already thinking about the monies. But what prophet is it if we kill our brother and then conceal his blood? Come. Let's sell him to the Ishmaelites. We're going to sell him to the Arabs for a few pieces of silver. firstborn. He was wicked in the sight of the Lord. And he put him to death. So Judah's offspring is so fucking wicked that God killed him. But we're supposed to believe that this is the wicked bloodline that Jesus comes from. This is spread the semen on the ground. So he'd pull out and yank on the ground. He was not sperming in her. So he didn't want to give offspring to the brother. He didn't want to redeem the brother. So he's just banging her, but without redemption. And what he did was wicked inside of God. So he killed him. Oh, gosh. So he dies too. Because he's being an asshole and he's not following Judah and the law and redeeming the widow.
Never get to school, mama happy. Never blew a second chance, no, no.
So Judah said to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, so there's 2 wicked dead sons in the line of Judah. And Judah didn't keep his promise because he was afraid that he would die too. He's like, I'm not giving my son, my third one, to this Tamar lady because he'll end up dead too. So he thought she was a hooker because she had her face covered. He said to her at the roadside, come, let me bang you. Because Judah didn't know that she was his daughter-in-law. Gave them to her, and he banged her. And she conceived by him. So now Judah, thinking his daughter-in-law is a hooker, banged her right after his wife died. And now they're having a baby together. This is Judah. This is Judah. I told you, dysfunctional family. Here is the cult prostitute. The cult prostitute. So not only was Judah banging a hooker for comfort when his wife died, but Judah was banging a cult prostitute, like a temple hooker from one of the false gods. Again, this is the lineage, the tribal characteristics that you are to associate with Jesus the Messiah. This is the attributes of the bloodline that God set apart to birth the Messiah. This is the one. Okay? He's banging a cult prostitute, or he thinks is a cult prostitute, but really it was his 2 dead sons, wicked dead sons, widow. And 3 months later, Judah was told, Tamar, your daughter-in-law, has been immoral. She is pregnant by this immorality.
Take it off me right.
And Judah said, not knowing that it's him, bring her out and let her be burned. Murder at the stake. Fuck her. Fuck that hoe. She's for the streets. She sent word to her father-in-law, who is Judah, and she said, by the man to whom these belong, I'm pregnant. And she said, please identify who these are. So now she's taking Judah's personal items and holding them out and going, can you tell me who owns these? Because that's the father of the baby. And then Judah identified them and said, oh, this daughter-in-law who disguised herself as a cult temple hooker is more righteous than I. Judah is duplicitous and wicked until suddenly Jesus comes along and like he's a good guy from Judah. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
But you have to read it, and then you see what's going on.
they're teaching prophecy. And they're pointing back, going, oh, look, Isaiah said this, this, and this. And it's like, no one's read the whole freaking book of Isaiah. They have no idea at what point in the captivities this was taking place and who these players are and what was going on at the time and who the kings are and all these bloodlines and names and tribes and houses. They're just making shit up. So if they're making shit up about Rothschild prophecy, you bet your sweet ass whatever the evangelical Rothschild preachers are preaching is what's going to happen, because the Rothschilds are going to fund it to happen, and the Christians are going to run after it as though it's God's prophecy. And the church doesn't know, you collective, right? All the Christians out in the world, the Islam too, throw them in. And they certainly don't know their Ephraim, who gets destroyed because they're prideful, foolish, and stupid and won't listen and is destroyed for lack of knowledge. They don't know any of that. If they don't know any of that, they certainly don't know Genesis 48, which is here on the screen. That says the covenant was handed down to Ephraim directly from Jacob on his deathbed. The covenant, the Abrahamic covenant, the three-pronged Abrahamic covenant was never, and I mean never, given to Judah, ever.
Stay right there. All right. I still need some sound. Got it. Right. Hold on a minute. Wrong intro. How does it go?
Nor was it given to Babylonian elites who came back, who the Persian king said they were taken by Babylon. The Persian king, Cyrus the Great, sent them back, the elites only, and they forced conversion on everyone of the land that was then called Judea, which consisted of the southern and the northern kingdoms, because the northern kingdom was carted off. So they took over the whole place, the elites did, and they forced everyone to convert to their Babylonian religion called Judaism. And they called themselves Jewish. They weren't given the covenant from Abraham either. It was given to Ephraim. And you know who's fucking up that covenant? Ephraim, who's also known as Israel, because he leads the tribes of Israel, because they fucked it up. And how do they fuck it up? Well, they don't even know their God. You think you're going to tell me you know God and you don't even know you have the Abrahamic fucking covenant because you're too busy following Paul? But sure, the church is going to be just fine, because Paul said so. They don't even know who has the covenant. The original covenant. Not even talking about the new one. Talking about the Abrahamic covenant. They don't even know. They have no fucking idea. But sure, they know God. He's not just blessing them. He's handing down the patriarchal covenant to them. But you know what? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the whole Abrahamic covenant thing. Ephraim, you dumbasses. Don't worry about the Abrahamic covenant. Just die and hopefully go to the right place. So just do that. Let the bad guys have earth. And you just run around hiding eggs and hope you get a ticket to the right place. That's the way to go. You just turn your back on the entire Abrahamic covenant. Tell God to fuck off, because you have a new one now because Paul said so. It's not the new one in Jeremiah 31:31, because the church isn't in that one. That's Israel, Judah stuff. We don't know about that. And then tell me you follow the same God I do. Why is Could you imagine if every Christian knew that they were Ephraim And you're either going to be Israel and figure it out and be a prodigal son that comes home under the house of David, or you're going to be destroyed. That's what the Bible teaches. Now, if you don't want to believe what the Bible teaches, that's a whole other story. I'm not talking to you. But that's what your Bible says. That's the Bible. That's what it says, like it or not. Has your priest or preacher in your Baal-worshipping house of hell taught you that lately? No, because you're not getting any of those blessings. People are starting to hear about this two-kingdom thing. They're like, oh, shit. We can't pretend to be Judah and Israel anymore. We got to kind of bring this second house into our nefarious plans. Now we have to explain that there's two houses. How are we going to do that?
How embarrassing. A little cooperation, and everything is pleasant as punch. You see, we really are reasonable people once you get to know us. Honest.